Hi, I'm Chef Tomm. I'm a professional chef. I've trained all over the world. I've learned all kinds of culinary secrets, and now I'm going to teach them to you. Welcome to Culinary Secrets. I'm Chef Tomm. Today we're making fresh mozzarella. Now, you've been following me on Facebook. You'll see that I've been working with the cheese the last couple of weeks. Matter of fact, this milk right here is the same milk. I went down to Fresno and I actually got a chance to milk the cows. So let's talk about the ingredients that we have here. So again, the milk. This is the milk that was down in Fresno at Organic Pastures. I had the opportunity to milk the cows. I thought it was kind of cool. Now, what's really interesting about this milk is this is raw milk. There's only 2 companies in California that actually are able to sell raw milk, and this is one of them. Now you might say, well, why would you want to use raw milk? And raw milk is a cheese lover's best friend. The cheese comes together so much nicer than some of the pasteurized products, it's unbelievable. But so let's say you can't get raw milk, you can still use pasteurized milk. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. One thing I found that really helps that is if you add 1/8 of a teaspoon of calcium chloride per gallon, and that seems to bring the milk back. Now the second thing I want to work with is the rennet. Now this is vegetable rennet. There's vegetable rennet and there's animal rennet. Today I'm using vegetable rennet. That's what I seem to have in the house, so that's what I'm going to use. Rennet is an enzyme, and this enzyme is actually help pull the milk together, and I'll show you more about it in a little bit. And citric acid. This is another thing that's really great for cheese making. And what the citric acid does is kind of acidify the milk a little bit, which helps the whole milk process. So let's get started making our cheese. So getting started, I have 1 gallon of milk here, and this is my raw milk. And what I want to do is add my citric acid in here. Remember, for the recipes, go to cheftomm.com. What I want to do is stir the citric acid into it, and you notice that I put some water into the citric acid to kind of help it dilute a little bit. So I want to put this in here for about, let it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm looking for the curd to start to form. Actually, the milk actually start curdling. So let that sit. Once you add the citric acid, you want to bring the milk up to 90 degrees and let it sit for about an hour. An hour's gone by, and what I'm going to do is you can take a look at the milk, and you can see it's actually curdled quite a bit, and that's a great sign for the cheese. So what we want to do now is we want to add our rennet. Again, the rennets are enzyme, and we want to put the rennet inside this cheese and give it a stir. You want to stir for about 25-30 seconds, and what you're trying to do here is trying to make sure that the rennet is evenly distributed. If it's not evenly distributed, it might not work as good as you might hope. If you're not following me on Facebook, you can follow me. My screen name is Chef Tomm, so add me as a friend. I hope to see you there. So now this is all mixed in, I want to wait about 20 minutes, and what's going to happen then is it's going to come together, form one solid mass, and then we'll be able to cut it. So see you in 20 minutes. Okay, so now the rennet's been there for about 20 minutes, and you can see you touch the top of it, it kind of feels like soft tofu. But the real test is we call it clean break. So what I'm going to do is take my knife, slice through this, and if you look right here, you can see the clean break. After that, what you want to do is cut this about every half inch. We want to make cut this into little cubes almost. So we want to do vertical, horizontal. When it starts moving around, just watch out for that. Remember, you need to keep this at 90 degrees right around there the whole time through. Okay, so what happens now, we need to let this sit for about 10 minutes. We'll do this 3 times, and what's going to happen is the more of the waves keep calling the curd, and it'll make a much tighter curd. So see you in a couple minutes. So this has been sitting for 10 minutes now, and all I want to do is give this a gentle stir. And pretty much all the stirs to do is just kind of move these curds around, get some of the waste separated out of them. So, you know, you're gonna do this 3 times total. Each time you stir it, you're gonna let it set for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna stir this again in 10 minutes. After you stir this, you wanna make sure this temperature stays at 90 degrees. I know I sound like a broken record with this, but it has to stay at 90 degrees, otherwise that can work out for you. So, see in a little bit. So now the cheese has been sitting for about 20-30 minutes, and now it's time to strain it. Now strain this, it's pretty easy. What you wanna actually do is have a colander, or I have a china cap, but it's home use of colander is fine. Put some cheesecloth in there, and what you want to do is just take this, pour it, now some really interesting stuff about this cheese is that the yield is not that big, so out of my whole gallon of milk, I'm gonna end up with 1 pound of cheese. So it might not be the most cost-effective thing to do in the world, but it's a whole lot of fun. So what I'm doing now is I kind of want to hang this cheese. So I'm going to tie this knot, 1 below, 1 above, and I'm just going to hang this in the fridge like this for about 3 hours. What I'm looking for is all the water to come off of this. So I'll see in a little bit. All right, so now this cheese has sat for about 3 hours in cheesecloth and hung, and this is actually kind of a fairly new technique. I saw this being blogged about a couple weeks back, and normally this is a 3-hour process, but you put under low temperature, maybe 100, 110, raise it 2 degrees every so often until you mat the whole thing out, which is pretty much get the way out. But this works out absolutely fantastic. So for the novice cheesemaker, even for the experienced cheesemaker, this may be the way you want to go. So now that you have this, what we want to do is open the cheesecloth up, and here is what you've been working for. This is the curd. This is beautiful stuff. You know, nice, firm to the touch. This will make a fantastic cheese. So what we have to do this now is I'm gonna cut this into slices. And drop into our bowl. What we want to do now is we want to melt the curd. Now melting the curd, we want water about 160, 170 to melt this. Sometimes you might have to do this 2 or 3 times depending how cold your curd is. So if it's been in the refrigerator for a little bit of time, it might take you a little bit longer to get the curds melted. But have no fear, they will melt, so just wait for it. All right guys, so lately I've been doing a lot of Facebook stuff, so you see my newest adventures, what I'm up to when I'm milking the cows and making the chocolate there. So make me your Facebook friend. My name is Chef Tomm with 2 M's. Hope to see you there soon. Send me your ideas. You have a great idea for a show, say, hey, Chef, I think this, you need to make this, you need to make that. You know what? If you send me email and I use your show, I'll send you a t-shirt. So think about it, come with your great ideas, send them in to me. So now it's been sitting in the water for a little bit of time, so I'm gonna take this up. Look at that. There we go, we're ready to go. So what I like to do with this is kind of like stir this up. Look at that stretch. How's that for mozzarella cheese? Oh man. So I'm just stretching it, and what I'm looking for is to see if all the curds are broken up. If they're not, just kind of want to give them a little bit of a little motivation, give them a little squeeze, get them where I want them to be at. Okay, so this is really great. Nice stretchy cheese, but you wish you eat some right now, but maybe next time. All right, enough playing with the cheese. Let's form this stuff up. So to form this, what I want to do is kind of make this into a ball. What I do is form a fist around it. Squeeze it like it's got a neck. See all those nice little lines there? Squeeze it hard here and kind of like rip the neck off. And what you want to do with this cheese right away is you want to drop an ice bath. Now, one of the things that people do wrong is they put an ice bath for a couple minutes and take it out. But this got really staying for about 10 or 15 minutes because even though the outside might be cold, inside's still warm. And when you go to plate it up, if you do it that quick, it doesn't work as nice. It gets too soft and it'll fall flat. Again, I'm gonna take this, squeeze this really tight. See those nice cheese lines? Squeeze the neck. Nice little ball. Dropped it in my ice bath, and this guy here, yeah, we'll eat that too. Okay guys, the cheese is done. I just took out the ice bath, been there for 10-15 minutes. It's nice and solid. Now, one of the things you might want to understand about the fresh mozzarella, if you're going to store it for a couple days, you want to put it back inside the whey. In my experience, when I put it inside the salt brine, the outside started melting a little bit. You can wash it off, but it's easier to put it back in whey. Or if you're like me, I made that'll be in my belly about 5 minutes after the show is over. So let's make the salad. So making the caprese salad. Caprese salad is a classic Italian salad, which is tomatoes. These tomatoes here, I actually was down at the farmer's market this morning at 7 a.m. Getting these guys. These guys are picked yesterday, they're here today. I mean, how does this get better? You've got the tomatoes, you got the fresh mozzarella, this basil, you can't see it now, but it's all shifted up, was also picked up at the farmer's market just hours ago, so it's ultra fresh. So here I go again, slicing my cheese. And now this is beautiful stuff. That's that. Now we're going to slice a tomato. So now plating this up. There's several ways to get going about doing this, but I'm going to do it really classical way. Tomato, cheese, tomato, cheese. Okay, now to finish this guy off, I'm going to take, actually I'm going to hit it with a little salt and pepper. And I'm going to put a little bit of my olive oil, drizzle this over this guy, and a little more there. A little chiffonade. My basil. And I'm going to finish this guy off with basil flour. So a little bit of red wine vinegar on top of here. Okay guys, that's my version of an ultra fresh caprese salad. Can you get any fresher than that? Milk from the cows yesterday. The tomatoes were picked this morning. Basil from the farmer's market this morning. That's it. So that's on the show for today. If you have any ideas for future shows, send me an email. If I put it on air, I'll send a t-shirt. So again, happy cooking. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.